Okay, so the point that I was trying to make was you want to play it when you're playing in Mixolydian. If you're going to play a diatonic, you want to play the diatonic of the Ionian. So if we're doing a G7, we can do the diatonic of the C, which is the Ionian of that. So, but really, the jam was in Mixolydian there. So it's doesn't sound as important though as doing the Mixolydian scale. So it'd be or because the pentatonic doesn't give you the modal quality. So this is an important thing to remember. So we did that. Let's calm down now. So that's the benefit of the modal builds is we can start anywhere. We could do something in Lydian. I mean, that's like one of the more difficult things to do. We can do something in Lydian. Let's see if we got that. We'll do so if we want to call that a Lydian build, we just start 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6, 7, 2, 3, 4, 5. We bring that down to its Ionian. Then we're going to play the root. Up here, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, root 2. Now do it to the music. Now we want to bring it down. E string shape. Fourth of E is A string shape. Long. 5, 6, 7. And then E string shape is fifth. Fifth of A string shape is E. Now what do we have if we want to stay on string? To the left, thank you. Thank you, synthesizer. If we want to stay on string to the left, we've only got a half step in between these guys. So it's a half step between 6 and 7 and root, half step between 3 and 4. Then we go back to full whole steps between each string shape. Okay, even between 4 and 5, but the exceptions are between 7 and root. Okay, between the Mixolydian and the Ionian string shape, 2, 3, we have a half step. So if you're doing that, rather 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, you want to stay on string, you got a half step. Below that is the whole step down to the D string shape. Why? Because A string shape, fourth of that is the D string shape. Okay? And similarly with the Ionian here, we've got root 2, 3. When we go below that, it'd be a half step going from 3, 2 root to 7, 6, 5. From E to A, Believe it or not, yep, that is its fourth. So it still fits the pattern. 3, 2, 1, 7, 6, 5. That's about all we have for today. However, I think we're going to continue on until we're done with this segment. I'm sure we've got to recap this stuff. So we did look at the properties of the modal string shapes. Let's look at the modal caged fretboard. Okay, remember we have here our down C tuned fret nut and whatnot like that. Okay, had to take a little break there. So we're looking at my guitar is down C tuned. If there was a fret nut here, if we had a down D tuned fret nut, guitar rather, it would be right here, right? And we're going to make this little box fit. See, that would be down D tuned, where the second of C is the D. This is down C tuned, and this is regular tuned, where the E is the third of C. So these numbers are in the key of C. Okay? Those numbers are in the key of C. If you wanted them in the key of E, what would this, if this is your normal E tuned fret nut, what note, well, that note's going to be the E, but what number would that be? It would be over in the E box. Way over here. This is the E box. And it would be root. Okay, and remember we had a little review. Why are these cages a little bit bigger than the other ones? Is because we've got the long string shapes, root 2, 3, but this is the 7 root 2 box. See, E 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4. It's just counting, and I suggest that with the modal string shapes, you at first use the counting method. Definitely use, and remember the modal string shapes play away from the fret nut, so they're very safe to use. They're just a little harder to see the chords, because the chords are the same thing. Your fingers aren't going to grow like, you know, out there. You can't, you know what I'm saying? You're just going to go up to the same short string shape chord. So let's say root 2, 3 down here. In mine, root 2, 3, we'll go back to the Ionian box. This is the Locrian box. So we're back here on the Ionian box on my guitar, root 2, 3. Just C, D, E. Okay. Now, I'm not going to play a 3, 5, root 3, 5 root. I'm not going to play like 2 string shapes in one or something, you know, 3. The arpeggio will go root 3, 5, root 3, 5. Root, well, that would be out of no, that's in the box. You see, it's still in the long box. And then 3. But how do we make a chord? Well, here's our D chord. So there's a D chord in the E box, because the long patterns always take us up one cage shape. When we play on up into the next box, we end in the next box. The long patterns will take us into the next box. Root 2, 3, the E shape is going to take us into the D shape, whether or not it's a long pattern on the bottom or not. See here, the D shape short is going to take us into the C shape. D goes to C. Hey, we're out of time. If you like these videos, please like and subscribe. Follow the instructions below to access Andy's free guitar chart videos group on Facebook. And it's been a really good lesson. It's important to get these things to, you know, have these charts to look at and everything. And I've enjoyed giving y'all a lesson. Keep playing and keep watching. Thanks.